Heads up, this review will be non-spoiler for the most part, but there will be a spoiler section towards the end of the video because, boy, is there stuff that I want to talk about when it comes to this film that I just want to get out of my system. But don't worry, if you haven't seen the film yet, don't worry, the majority of this review will still be spoiler-free. The Super Mario Galaxy movie was easily one of my most anticipated films of the year. It was easily one that I was so hyped for, mainly because it was adapting two games that I have been deeply interested in for like the entirety of my time being a gamer, and it features some of my favorite Mario characters and Nintendo characters of all time in it. So, did it live up to my expectations? Well, I mean, as a Fox McCloud fan, I am absolutely pleased. Heyos, ladies, gents, and NBs, welcome to or back to the channel. My name's Sky, and today I am going to review the Super Mario Galaxy movie and share my thoughts on it. Because yeah, I have thoughts. A lot of them. Some of which aren't exactly positive, but I do have some positive things to say about it, so, you know, at least there's that. Now, admittedly, I actually haven't played either of the Super Mario Galaxy games, but I do know quite a bit from watching my twin play the games back in the day, and I was just enamored by what I was watching. The platforming looked so much fun, the level design was so creative, I absolutely adored the music, and just the vibes of the games were so immaculate. I definitely credit these games as strengthening my interest in outer space and sci-fi. Like, I do consider them, like, hugely influential or informative pieces of media for me, and it introduced me to my favorite Mario character, outside of Yoshi, Rosalina. I adore Rosalina. She is so gorgeous and pretty, and her backstory is so touching and emotional. And I also adore the Lumas. I credit my love for star-shaped characters from the Lumas. Yeah, I just really have a strong fascination and weird love for these games despite not having played them. Again, I've only watched my twin play them, but you know what, I still love the vibes of the game. I still love what I watched when I saw him play the games. So yeah, that strong interest definitely had me so excited for this film. And even though the first film I do consider to be flawed, I still had a lot of fun watching that first film, and I think it was definitely worthy of to be a Mario movie. And I can't really compare that to the live-action Mario movie, by the way, but to be honest, I don't know if I even want to watch that movie, but I digress. So all things considered, I was really hyped for the Super Mario Galaxy movie because of my strong interest in the Mario Galaxy games and my love for the first film. Unfortunately, I do consider it to be a bit of a disappointment, and while I wouldn't consider it a bad film by any means, it definitely has its flaws. A lot of good points, mind you, though. Like, it's a film I'm very mixed on. But I do want to get the flaws out of the way because that's some of the ones that bug me the most. So one of my biggest flaws with the film is that it didn't feel as big as it should be for a Mario Galaxy movie. Because when you think of Super Mario Galaxy, you think of the scale of the games, you think of how cinematic they are, you think of just how many planets and galaxies there are in the two games. And while I certainly wasn't expecting the movie to cover like 10 planets or 10 galaxies or something, like, I still was hoping to see like a much bigger scale for this film in comparison to the first film. Not saying that it didn't feel big by any means necessary. It certainly did feel bigger than the first film in parts, but I don't know, I feel like I expected a little bit more out of a film based on these two huge and cinematic games. And I don't know, I just didn't feel like this film captured what made the original game so epic and exciting to me. There were some good points that I liked about it. Like, I did like how they implemented the gravity mechanics from the games in some places, but I don't know, I feel like they didn't use the galaxy elements of the Mario Galaxy games to their fullest in here, and I was a bit let down because of that. Another one of my biggest flaws in the film was that the way they handled specific plot points was so weird. Like, for example, I'm not gonna say it now because this is a spoiler-free section of the video, but there was one plot point in particular that they were setting up, like, constantly over and over again, and by the end of the film, it just felt like the payoff was a nothing burger. And there's a couple other plot points that just also feel like nothing burgers. There's just like, that just felt a bit tacked on. And the way that these plot points were resolved also felt like very lukewarm. Like, I don't know, like, it was hard to get invested in some of these plot points because of just how poorly they were handled. And I'm not saying that I expected, like, a masterpiece of a story from this, but I don't know. The way, like, these plot points were handled just bothered me, quite a bit. And I'm still thinking about, like, why did they do this if there was, like, no point in, like, resolving this in a satisfying way? Like, I don't know, like, it just bugged me, for most of the film, just how such specific things were handled. And I also blame that on the pacing of the film, which is a problem that the first film had. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised that the second film also has poor pacing and goes by way too fast. But it did feel a little bit worse in this regard because of, like, the plot points thing I mentioned before. Like, I don't know, like, the pacing bothered me a bit more in this film. Like, some things just went by way too fast than they should have. And I was like, can we linger on this a little bit more? Like, but they didn't. And, like, some parts of the film just felt so abrupt or so, like, quick. They're just like, what? Like, can't we spend a little bit more time in this? Especially by the end. Like, it was like, the film just ended. Like, it was just like, wow, that's it. That was an abrupt ending. Like, ugh. Yeah, I definitely wish they improved the pacing for this film, but they didn't, and that was disappointing. Not as disappointing as a lack of Rosalina, though. Oh, listen, Rosalina was the character I was the most excited to see. Well, one of the characters I was most excited to see. And I was let down. What screen time she did get was good, and I loved Brie Larson's performance as her. She did a great job, but there just wasn't enough of Rosalina. And without spoiling anything, she just felt like she was a background character for most of the film. Which, I mean, in Galaxy 2 she was a background character, but, like, even then, like, she only appeared, like, at the ending of Mario Galaxy 2. But I don't know, I just wasn't pleased with how Rosalina was handled. Not in terms of the storyline they gave her, just because of the lack of screen time. Like, I'm sure people probably would, like, point to, like, having problems with how Rosalina was handled, in terms of, like, what screen time she got. I don't care, I didn't mind that much, but I just minded lack of screen time for her. I was really disappointed, because, like, again, she was a character I was so excited to see in this movie, and I don't know, for her first big screen debut, they could have done better. I really expected a lot more out of Rosalina in this film, considering how important and central and core she is to the first Mario Galaxy game. So, yeah, Rosalina deserved better. And yet, despite of all of these significant flaws, I still had a fucking fun time watching this film. Like, I don't know, it was still a blast watching it. I was, like, giddy with excitement throughout, and I was just having a blast watching this. And, like, what was good about the film was still really, really good. Like, for starters, Bowser and Bowser Jr.'s relationship was so cute. I really loved the relationship. I was surprised by how invested I got in it, because I'm a Bowser simp. I love Bowser, like, as a character. I think he's really cool and attractive. But I've never been a huge fan of, like, Bowser Jr. Like, he was never a character that appealed to me. Here, I actually really liked him. I thought he was, like, his desire to form a relationship with his dad again, after not seeing him for so long, was just so sweet. And I just really loved their interactions. Like, they were just so cute to watch together. Like, I'm a sucker for a good, like, cute, wholesome, parental, like, child relationship. Even though, like, I will admit, parent-child relationships in media aren't always my thing, but this one, I really did like. I really did enjoy them. And, I mean, Bowser overall was just such a fun character, too, as always, like, in the first film. Like, he was just really, really, funny and, you know, cool to watch and, you know, a little bit attractive to see. And he definitely also had some of the best gags in the film as well. So yeah, they would definitely stand out. And as always, the performances of the film were really good. Like, again, like, they really delivered. Every actor in the film did a great job. I mean, going back to Bowser, Jack Black did a wonderful job, and Benny Safdie did a great job as Bowser Jr. I really loved his performance too. And of course, the rest of the cast from the previous film did great job as well. You know, Chris Pratt, Charlie Day, Anya Taylor-Joy, like, they still did a great job, even though I also do have a bit issues with Peach's characterization, like in the first film, but you know, I digress. And as for the newcomers in terms of actors, I was surprised by how good Donald Glover was as Yoshi. Like, if you told me that was Donald Glover, I wouldn't believe you. Like, he was great. And I want to talk about Yoshi later, because he was a strong standout. But yeah, he would definitely deliver my favorite performances. And again, like, Brie Larson, for what little screen time Rosalina had, she did a great job as Rosalina. I really did enjoy her a lot. And, of course, I enjoyed Glenn Powell as Fox McCloud. I'll say my thoughts on Fox later, though. You know, let's not. I'm gonna avoid simping over Fox for like a while, though. I gotta say that for later. But yeah, overall, everyone did such a great job in this film. And the world building continues to be these films' biggest strong suit. Like, I mean, for as much as I racked on the film's lack of scale and cinematic qualities, I still felt like the world building they had was great. I loved Gateway Galaxy. Like, transforming Gateway Galaxy into an actual port for the universe is a brilliant reimagining. I thought that was so clever. And even for, like, any original stuff they did, I also really loved, like, again, like, it's hard to describe the specific world-building traits that I recognize throughout the film, but, I mean, for anyone who has seen these films, you can definitely, like, agree with me. The world-building is great in these films. And another thing I really was so impressed by with this film is the action scenes. My god, the action scenes were so much fun to watch in this, especially the final action scene. That was such a huge highlight for me with this film. It did feel fast, though, like, I'm not gonna, like, deny that. But it was so much fun to watch. Like, I cannot wait to talk about that in the spoiler section of this review. Like, it was just so much fun to watch. And the references from Mario and Nintendo history. As a lifelong Nintendo fan, I was geeking out throughout the film. Just like pointing this at the screen in my mind and just going, oh, I recognize that, or I recognize this, oh, I recognize this music. It was just so much fun. Like, and it's like specific references I was caught off guard by, but they were pleasant surprises too. Like, if you're a Nintendo fan like myself, like, I mean like a diehard Nintendo fan, like, if you love like some of the niche stuff in Nintendo, or like just appreciate the Mario franchise overall, oh, you're gonna have a blast watching this film. It is just so much fun for a lifelong Nintendo fan. But one of the film's biggest standout positives for me was easily Yoshi. Yoshi is the GOAT of this film. He was so well realized, had great comedic gags. The animation on him was awesome, and like I mentioned, Donald Glover's performance as him was so amazing. I couldn't believe that was Donald Glover. Like, Yoshi was just... He instantly became my favorite character of the film. Maybe. He might have a bit of competition with that. But, like, God, I loved Yoshi in this film so much. Like, some of my favorite gags of the film came from him. And he had so much time to shine in this. Like, he really took the spotlight when he was on screen. Like, he was such a well-realized character. Like, Yoshi is one of my favorite Mario characters ever. Like, he was the first video game character I ever played as in Mario Party 8. He was one of the first video game characters I really fell in love with and just got attached to, like, instantly. Like, so, like, as someone who's been a fan of Yoshi for most of my life, ever since I got into video games, like, I couldn't be more happier with how Yoshi was done in this film. Like, Illumination and Nintendo, you made this Yoshi fan very, very happy with your portrayal of him in this film. Like, keep at it for the next time we see him on the big screen. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing more of Yoshi in future Mario films. Like, I can go on and on about how much I loved this version of Yoshi. So good. So happy about how they did Yoshi. They did Yoshi justice. They didn't do Rosalina as much justice as I wish, but they did do Yoshi justice. And yep, Yoshi's my favorite character in the film, easily. Yep. No one else is tied to. Not at all. And now we come to the part of the video where I want to talk about spoilers. So, spoiler warning right now. If you don't want to get spoiled on the film, skip to the timestamp that appears on screen right now. We're good? Okay, moving on. So, we have a fair bit to talk about, and I want to start with, a big one. They actually made Peach and Rosalina being related again in a thing? Yeah, I'm just as shocked as everyone else, that they actually went with that. So for those of you who don't know, a very popular fan theory, in the Mario fandom is that Rosalina is related to Peach. And specifically, there was this pretty dark theory that was going around that, Peach is Rosalina's mother. That obviously doesn't really make a lot of sense within the timeline of the Galaxy games, but you know what, it was a theory that did exist. I want to say it was game theory that created a theory or perpetuated a theory, as they did perpetuate a lot of dark theories on games, but I digress. I don't remember. But anyway, so yeah, it's a very popular theory that Peach and Rosalina are related. And early on, when we started seeing Peach having these weird flashbacks or sudden episodes of like familiarity or realization of something, I was like, they're going to make them being related a kind of thing, aren't they? And they did, and I honestly don't know how to feel about it. I'm trying to wrap my head around it being an actual thing. I maybe because it just felt a bit rushed or poorly developed. Maybe because which you could say about a lot of things in this film. So yeah, I'm still not sure how I feel about them actually being related to each other in canon. Like, at least in the Mario movie. I'm not saying that this is a case for like all Mario media, but just with the movie, like, yeah, I didn't know how to feel at the time, and to be honest, I still don't completely know how to feel about it. I'm kind of leaning towards not being a huge fan of it myself, especially because I think that also takes away from Rosalina's own, like, storyline, which I wish was in the film, but, wasn't. So yeah, I feel like, I don't know, it didn't feel like a completely necessary addition to the plot. I will, like, admit it does, like, give Peach an interesting arc, which I didn't feel like she had in the first film, but, yeah, I really don't know how to feel. Speaking of Rosalina, like I mentioned before in the spoiler-free section, I was just disappointed by Rosalina's role in the film. Like, I didn't necessarily mind her being a damsel in distress, especially since, you know, that trope isn't necessarily a bad thing in most cases, but, like, I don't know, like, my problem with her role in the film is that she didn't get enough screen time, and that she didn't get, like, a lot of cool interactions with other characters, like, which I wish we saw more of, and yeah, I would pretty much wish we got more. And I think there was some potential to have some really cool interactions between her and Bowser, since they're both parental figures, so that could have been really interesting to have seen, but nope, we didn't get that at all. Yeah, that was missed potential. That was a huge amount of missed potential for Rosalina in this film. And next up, speaking of plot points that just I still don't know how to feel about, the whole thing about Mario and Peach being a thing in the movies. Where do I even begin? Like, yeah, Mario and Peach have always been sort of an enigmatic couple. I mean, which is weird now because Nintendo kind of confirmed that they were really just good friends. And within this movie itself, outside of, like, any Mario media in particular, like, by the end of the film, that plot point felt like a nothing burger. Like, Peach just kisses Mario on the cheek, he jumps around, and that's it. That's the end of the plot. That's the end of that storyline. And I'm just like, that's how you're going to resolve that? That's how you're going to end that plot thread? Like, what? You set up all of this throughout the entire film. If you're going to implement that plot point, can you at least end it in like a way that feels conclusive? And it didn't! And that's, you could write like a character wanting to show their love for another character in a much better way and much more convincing way than that. And, yeah, it doesn't even matter if, like, they actually became a thing, or, like, Peach just like, rejected him, and, like, well, let him down easily, I guess I should say, like she did in Odyssey, and, like, but they didn't, as you can tell, I'm a little bit frustrated by this plot point in particular, because it just rubbed me the wrong way. Not necessarily them trying to set up a romantic subplot between the two characters, just how it's executed, I just have a lot of issue with. But you know what, let's talk about something positive, and I want to start by talking about quite possibly my favorite gag in the entire film, and that is Yoshi in New York. That was hilarious. Just the whole backstory of Yoshi, just going up to New York and getting into all these shenanigans, just, it cracked me the fuck up. And yeah, that was easily one of my favorite parts in the entire film. And another one of my favorite parts of the whole film was the final battle between Mario, Luigi, Bowser, or Dry Bowser, I should say. That was really cool to see. And Bowser Jr. That fight was epic. I loved it. I mean, it was epic to a degree. I did wish it had a bit more of the scale and cinematic qualities of, like, the Bowser fights in the actual Mario Galaxy games. But honestly, I still had a fun time watching it. There was some really nice use of the Galaxy power-ups. I mean, it was about time they showed off the power-ups from the Galaxy games, so that was fun. And getting to see, like, Mario use the red star as well as, like, the final power-up being used was epic. Fighting against the dragon from the the Dark Kingdom? That one kingdom from Mario Odyssey that I can't remember the name of. Yeah, that dragon appearing was a great surprise, along with Luigi summoning Mr. Game & Watch with Bowser Jr.'s paintbrush. That was a great little cameo right there, and I'm pretty sure that the attack that Mr. Game & Watch used against Bowser was the 9 attack with the hammer from Smash Bros. I'm pretty sure that was it, because it knocked Bowser pretty hard, and I mean, considering that the 9 attack is like Mr. Game & Watch's most powerful attack in Smash Bros., I wouldn't be surprised if that was what they were going for. But yeah, awesome fight overall. Definitely one of my favorite parts. And then let's talk about the post-credit scenes. Like, the post-credit scenes for this film were a lot of fun. Particularly enjoyed the ending one. That was a really nice setup for Daisy in this universe. Like, I'm really curious to see what Daisy's role is going to be in the future, who she's going to be voiced by. Yeah, very exciting addition to the Mario Illumination movies. Of course, I did like that other post-credit scene with Bowser and Bowser Jr. being terrified of Lumai Lee. Like, that was fantastic. That was great. That was a great way of using Lumai Lee. That was great gag overall. Yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Yep. Nothing else I want to talk about. Nothing at all. Nothing at... Oh, who am I kidding? Fox was hot! I could not contain myself whenever Fox McCloud was on screen, both as someone who has a strong interest in Star Fox and just as a general simp for the character. He was so cool, he was so attractive, he had so many shots that I just was swooning over. Like, I was obsessed with the guy throughout the entire film. Like, there was just like, oh, I'm so down bad for this character. I had such a visceral reaction that, like, I didn't, like, jump up and down in the theater or anything, but I was shaking a bit. I was just, like, crying, going, oh my god, and just, yeah, I loved Fox. I thought he was so well realized. His animation was just, chef's kiss right there. And Glenn Plow did such an amazing job as Fox. Like, his performance was really great. And as someone who has a very strong interest in Star Fox, though, I admittedly have not actually played any of the Star Fox games beyond the Masterpiece version of 64 and Smash Bros. Brawl. Anyone remember Masterpieces? I've always wanted to play the Star Fox games for the longest time. I've always had such a strong interest in that franchise and those characters. So yeah, I've always been a huge fan of Fox, especially because of Smash Bros. So just seeing how well realized the Star Fox IP was in the film, with how they referenced it, like with that really cool 2D animation early on with Fox's introduction, that was fantastic, unexpected. That was a great way of introducing the character. Also, implementing the Star Fox music throughout the film was amazing. That music sounded so fucking good. And, and even the ending at that post-credit scene that sort of teased Fox going back to the Lyat system and potentially setting up a Star Fox film. I would love to see a Star Fox film, although I will admit, I don't think I'm ready to see Falco and especially Wolf in the Illumination style, because if I simped so hard for Fox McCloud in just one movie, I am not going to be able to hold myself together if I see him alongside Falco and Wolf in their own movie. I am not, like... I would not survive that film. But yeah, overall, Fox, great character, and I'm still, like, trying to, like, and I will admit, like, I actively been looking at shots of him from throughout the film, and just, I am just thinking stuff that is not age-appropriate for YouTube, but, believe me, I've been having quite the thoughts in my head. Yep. I know I'm not the only one, like, I'm knee-deep in the furry community, and I can safely say I am not the only one down bad for him. And having quite the thoughts, looking at all these shots of him as a character, like, the animators cook. And I gotta say, on a side note, I have a feeling that the people at Illumination, there are people at Illumination who are down bad for both Fox and Bowser, because they did a pretty good job making both pretty attractive. I mean, that bicep shot of Bowser? Yeah, I pretty much swooned right then and there. As an aside, speaking of Bowser, as an aside, like, the time that he kissed Mario was so hilarious, because I actually leaned into my twin, who I was seeing a movie with, and I basically whispered to him, Luigi is just over there looking at Bowser kissing Mario, and he is internally going, it should have been me, not him! Which, I mean, valid, I wish it was me too, Luigi. But back to Fox, yeah, overall, I was just really happy with how they handled Fox McCloud in this film. Just, I really want to see more of him from Illumination going forward. Also, I forgot to mention, loved Rob. Rob was a great cameo in this film, especially when they did that gag of Rob moving slowly, just like the real Rob does. That was a great gag. Pretty accurate to the original real-life Rob. Love him. Would love to see more of him in the future. I'm a big Rob fan, so yeah, I was very pleased with how they did him in the film. So yeah, overall, while I certainly do have my problems with the Super Mario Galaxy movie, I also still had a lot of fun watching it. Like, if nothing else, I'm glad that at least a couple of my favorite Nintendo characters got the spotlight and was so well realized within this film. And you know what, the vibes were just fun. Like, it was just fun watching the fight scenes and seeing the animation and hearing the music and getting to hear and see a lot of the gags. Like, I don't know, I still had a fun time. And if you enjoyed the first Mario movie, and you know you're a big Nintendo fan, specifically Mario and Star Fox, I think you'll have a fun time with this. Even if you do come away wishing that the film was better in some points, at the end, I think you'll enjoy parts of it, definitely. That's my review on the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have seen the film, what are your thoughts on it? Who were your favorite characters? What parts did you like? And put a spoiler warning if you're going to put a comment and talk about spoilers in the comment section below, since, you know, this is a half spoiler review. So I just want to make sure people, like, don't get spoiled on the film if they still haven't seen it. They're still trying to avoid spoilers. So please keep that in mind if you're wanting to comment about specific spoilers below. Also, I hope you enjoyed the time-lapse of this Fox illustration that I made, because, of course, I had to make some sort of art of Fox McCloud looking a little sexy. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the art. I have links to it in the description below, so please check it out if you want to see the full piece. And I hope you enjoyed this time-lapse that I made for it. I use OBS this time for the time-lapse so I can capture my full process. So it's a bit different than before, but I'm pretty happy with this direction I went with recording my process of creating this art piece. And I hope you enjoyed this new style of time-lapse I'm playing around with for this video. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe so you won't miss any future videos, so check out my past videos if you wanna. Please take care of yourselves, and keep on keeping on.